ethical hacker makes $120,000 from finding bugs in EOS's software. Monero integrates with Ledger and will be listed on Huobi. Waltonchain is invited to the Great Hall of Peoples and announces a fiat pairing in the near future. Icon announces their Android wallet, as well as news that their Loopchain project will be used at Korean customs. Ripple represented by a former SEC chairman. Bitcoin searches are down over 75% from earlier this year. Ontology partners with Points. And this Argentinian minivan is going on tour to raise Bitcoin awareness. We've got all your headlines mixed with some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and your FUD TV Daily Update starts now. Welcome back, FUD Nation. That's right, hopping here on CoinMarketCap, we have a little bit of a green day here, spiking with about almost a 1.5% gain on Bitcoin. We have a total market cap here of $345 billion, up just a few points from yesterday. And obviously, there's nothing too big moving here. We have a 10% gain from Waltonchain. I do believe that this might be related to some of the news that we'll cover in just a minute. So we'll get to that. And of course, under that, we have Binance Coin Huobi token, which are both exchanges and Elastos. They're doing some work here. Elastos obviously just released another partnership. Ontology as a partnership. So it's interesting. It seems like the news is actually correlating with the coins that are pumping right now. And on that note, let's get to the news. The first piece of news is that this ethical hacker actually found 12 vulnerabilities within EOS and was rewarded with a handsome $120,000 bounty for just a week's work. So if you're up for it and you have the skills, you might as well go find some vulnerabilities in this code because it certainly pays to do so. So I think the bug bounty is working as it should. The incentives are more to be finding the vulnerabilities than to be exploiting them. Hopefully that continues to be the case, so this is a happy story. We also have word that Waltonchain has just been invited to the Great Hall of Peoples, which is essentially a very highly touted government building in China, where they had a technology and innovation development forum. Obviously in China, being recognized formally by the government in these ways is very important, and obviously with Waltonchain and all of its developments, this is an incredible achievement, and so this is a very bullish sign. Of course, Waltonchain had more news in that they've just partnered with Cymex. Now, this is the first step for Waltonchain to have an actual fiat Waltonchain pairing. Cymex is a multifunctional online international digital asset management platform. Essentially, this will just have a gateway that will allow for you to trade Waltonchain against fiat currency. Very big news, of course, because fiat pairings are always very successful, allow for people to have a much more stable sort of trading pair, and it's very desirable for day traders. And it could lead to a ton of volume pumping through Waltonchain, and so it's no surprise that Walton is up about 10% today. We also just got word that Monero is going to be listed on Huobi, which is a great listing for the coin, as well as they've just been integrated into the Ledger hardware wallet, which is a phenomenal, more secure way to store your favorite privacy coin, which is Monero. So this is all good, positive growth for the Monero project. And of course, if you're holding Monero, this would lead to obviously more accessibility and more safe ways to store it. So very good news all around for Monero.
Whoa.
And Icon's Loopchain project has just partnered with the government to essentially facilitate customs import and export for small items. Apparently, the ability to actually process small items through customs actually takes an undue amount of effort and human labor. So adding this blockchain functionality will actually allow to completely streamline the process. And it just shows how embedded the Icon team and the Loopchain project is in the inner workings of the Korean government affairs, as well as the big businesses over there in that region. Of course, evidenced by their partnerships with Naver and Samsung in the most recent few weeks. Although their official partnership is with Line, which is a Japanese subsidiary of Naver, the parent company Naver is Korean, and so we can expect that that might be where this sort of synergy and where the business partnership might have arisen from. We also have word that Icon has released their Android wallet, Icon X, so go check that out if you're looking to store your Icon on a mobile device. And despite their partnerships with Icon, it seems like Samsung is launching a blockchain of their own, looking to actually provide financial services, big data, AI. There's not a ton of details here, but it just shows blockchain is the hottest, newest technology that every big company is looking to take advantage of in their own unique way. More bullish signs for adoption, and hopefully one of these big companies can crank out a product that inspires a real use case that everybody is going to need to get their hands on. So we're all waiting for that, but obviously more big fish swimming around the pool is not a bad thing. Many of you might be wondering what was happening with that conversation about unregistered securities with the likes of Ethereum and Ripple. Well, now Ripple is being represented by a former SEC chairman in their lawsuit, so it seems like like they know how to hire the right type of talent to articulate their case to their audience, which is the SEC, and of course have a warm set of ears with the former chairman. This looks like a very good sign that they're not going to end up getting into the wrong side of the law on this one. Honestly, I would be very shocked if all of a sudden they laid down the hammer and said that Ripple, among many other coins, were unregistered securities. I'm sure there would be some kind of new asset class or new classification that they make, but I doubt they're just going to penalize everyone by calling it an unregistered securities. Then again, can't predict the future. It just seems like they're stacking the deck in their favor. And according to CNBC, Google searches for Bitcoin are down by almost 75%. An internal audit on the FUD team actually showed that they were down over 90% from some of its peaks back in December. And that just shows that literally, people who are only coming to Bitcoin to get rich. As the price has gone down and as the sort of get rich quick syndrome around cryptocurrencies has faded, pretty much the entire crowd interest, what anybody cared about with these things, has faded too. So now we know the truth. People are not interested in this technology. They don't understand the implication of blockchain, and they're just simply here to get rich. Well, at least 90% or so of people were. So we'll see how this story progresses. But again, like I said, as soon as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies start showing sign of being great stores of value and good investments, not compared to where they were a year ago, not compared to where they were 6 years ago or whatever, but compared to where they were in January, well, that's going to be when we start seeing the mania and the sort of normal big crowds rush in again. Ontology just announced a partnership with Points. Now, Points is going to be building an entire ecosystem on top of the Ontology network, and they're going to be focusing on financial credit. This is a future-looking project. It's got some cool names behind it, but there's not a lot going on with Points yet. So it's just more excitement and just shows that there is going to be a lot being built on Ontology. And wouldn't it surprise you, Ontology is doing quite well today as well. And if you've ever wondered what it would be like to travel Argentina in a minivan promoting Bitcoin, well, these fine folks are going to show you exactly what that's like. That's right, there's a minivan awareness tour being conducted in the hopes to raise awareness about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency throughout Argentina. Again, like I've said many times, as much as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency serve a vital purpose throughout all nations and all places in the developing world and in economies that are not as strong, like the Argentinian economy, South American economies, and other places in the world, we're going to start seeing much more adoption of these cryptocurrencies. Of course, now that SegWit has been largely implemented and fees have largely dropped, hopefully soon we can start seeing signs that Lightning Network is actually functioning properly. And as we start getting the fees and the usage of Bitcoin to be far less cumbersome, these less powerful economies that might actually see incredible utility in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will start to emerge as central players and influences in bringing up the usage and the utility and, of course, the adoption of this crypto. If you enjoyed today's brief FUD TV news update, hit that subscribe button and don't be afraid to hit that bell notification because we make cryptocurrency videos on this channel each and every day. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with me today on FUD TV, and I'll see you very, very soon on the next episode.